I wasn't looking, but I was praying. I told God that if it's something that you want to happen, you will make it happen in your time. And somehow here I am, waiting to meet my mom, my natural mother. I'm Monica and married almost 38 years, and we have 7 children. I was raised in a very Catholic family, but I didn't really have a relationship with God until I was much older. When I was expecting my 4th child, I was bedbound because I bleed with every pregnancy. So someone had given me a whole pile of books to read, all spiritual reading books. So I was reading and reading all the lives of the saints, The question came to my mind, how did these saints become saints? And the answer came immediately, interiorly. It's the mothers. I was like, oh my, I'm a mother. Now I need to get working on this, right? Quite soon after that, though, a phone call came, and it was from Father Connor Donnelly. He said that Family Life Society had introduced him to me because they said that I could help him bring in the book, The Hand of God. It was Dr. Bernard Nathanson's autobiography. He was a convert and he was an abortionist. He was very key in Roe versus Wade becoming law. He turned his life around when he realized that through the ultrasound, that life was actually from conception. Father Connor introduced himself as a priest of Opus Dei, which I had never heard of before that. The next thing I know, he had sent someone to come and meet me. In talking to this lady who came, I thought I was going to Bible study class, but turned out that it was actually a doctrine class on the Eucharist. And I thought, oh, wow, perfect actually, because I was wanting to prepare my eldest one for First Holy Communion. From then on, I just started attending the classes and I never stopped. And I realized that, wow, what a simple way to grow in my own faith so that I could raise my children to hopefully become saints. Once I started getting to know it, I realized that, oh, this is what I've been looking for all my life. It felt that way. And so I think very soon after, then I thought, okay, I would like to be able to ask for admission to join Opus Dei. I first met Christina when we were both in the car on our way to an Opus Dei retreat in Johor at Bukit Tiram House.
When she introduced herself as Monica De Silva, I was intrigued and I thought, that's quite coincidental, because my mom has always told us that we had a younger sister who was given away. That's exactly the same name, Monica De Silva. So I was definitely intrigued. But because it was the first time that I met her, I didn't think it was polite to ask her about it. So I just kept it in my heart. Yeah.
It was the Feast of the Divine Motherhood. Christina and I were both attending our annual course of Opus Dei at that very same Bukit Tiram house in Johor. So in the middle of it was an excursion day. We were in a car again, and then suddenly this friend of ours who was sitting right next to me said, Monica, did anyone ever tell you that you don't look Eurasian and you look so Chinese? So something inside me said, tell them. So I took a deep breath and I announced, actually, I'm adopted. And at that moment, Christina, who was seated in front next to the driver, reached right to the back where I was seated behind the driver and just grabbed my hand. And she said, are you my long-lost sister? And I was so stunned and I just said, what are you talking about? What do you mean, right? And then I just turned and carried on conversation with the other two friends in the car because I thought she was joking. But after a while, I realized that she was quiet. She was starting to tear and she's still holding on to my hand. So I looked at her and I said, "Are you serious? You have a long-lost sister? How do you know?"
I was really stunned. It was like, is this it, Lord? So I was really overjoyed, and yet at the same time that, it really hits me that my sister is really in front of me now. I didn't quite know how to, to take it from there, but I was overjoyed, truly, truly so overjoyed. Yeah, I can't even remember if I cried then, but I must have.
That night, I couldn't sleep. I just prayed the rosary. And then the next morning, when I was at Mass, after receiving Holy Communion, I couldn't stop crying. And that happened every single day, every Mass after that, for a few days. I just couldn't stop crying. I felt like I was lost, but now I'm found.
I did meet Mom the next night. She couldn't believe it. She kept asking, How did this come about? She just cannot believe it. And she said, where did you meet? How is she? How about her family? How about her parents? Where are they? Where is she? Is she married? So I had to assure her that everything is fine. And she's married, she's got kids. And Mom, do you know how many she has? So I told her, I said, she has exactly the same number of kids as you, 7. So Mom was like, huh? She's like, really? So we said that we should arrange for Mom to meet Monica. She was between excitement and at the same time she was apprehensive because she could not imagine, how Monica would react, whether Monica would accept her for giving her away.
Even though I was scared, I guess it's time. Yeah, it's time. Yeah, and I wonder who she is and how she is, and to learn so much about her. Just about an hour before we all gathered, my younger sister, Teresa, actually managed to find the adoption papers. So that just confirmed everything. It's still slowly dawning on me that I actually am number 6 of 7 and not the only child that I thought I was for 62 years of my life. I had always wanted siblings when I was young because I always felt very lonely. My brothers, I remember when we first met at the gate, right? And they just gave me such a big hug and they said, "We're so happy," because they remembered. They were old enough the day that I was given away. They saw the whole thing happened, and my brother said that it was a very sad day for them. So they never expected that this day would arrive, that they would actually see me. Yeah, that we could actually be reunited.
I think it's really, really beyond imagination how God works, because I got to know the work through a friend, and we both shared the same birthday. I always considered her as my twin sister, and it was my friend who introduced me to the work, which then led to this meeting with Monica.
Throughout this whole revelation, I really saw God's hand and His providence in how He took care of me right from the beginning in giving me such a good family who didn't abort me, and gave me up for adoption. And then because of the way I was raised, I think I was ready for a vocation to Opus Dei. And it's because of Opus Dei and my vocation that I met Christina.
Well, each time I see her, I really want to touch her. I really want to hold on to her. Like I would never want to let her go away again. I was a baby. I was only one year, maybe 13 months when all that happened. So every call, every message is truly a joy. Truly. So incredible that God could allow us to praise Him. That this story is really not my story, not Monica's story. It's God's story. It is His story.